you doing, everyone? I'm super excited for this. It's going to be a load of fun. We are analysing teams today. We've got 24 teams to go through, and I've asked everyone to, when sending through their screenshots, to write down some notes as to, what they're thinking about in trades. Obviously, it helps if I can see their trades remaining, their salary cap, and, potentially their plans going forward, and, maybe what they've done in the past. So 24 teams this week. I hope you get a lot out of this because I think it's going to be a really, really good video and should answer the majority of your questions, and probably a bunch of questions that you're asking yourselves in these 24 teams, and hopefully I go through your one. And from next week onwards, on a Monday night, if you can get in that Discord group and send through into the teams chat there, the team pick chat, a picture of your squad here with some markers on it, that would be awesome. So we start here with Miranda Park, Marcus Brown. So we've spoken about this team before, and we'll go through a bunch of the chat here. So the question is going to be, how do I get Cleary and when? We're thinking Arrow to May, potentially. Okay, we kept Hughes over Moses last week. I'm regretting it. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think you should trade any of them out, but that's fine. Selling Crichton soon. All right, let's just answer them as we go. So Arrow to May, the question with Arrow there, he has made 75K and has been doing really well. He's averaging 50. So are you wanting to remove someone out of your team that's averaging 50? You have 111,000 in the bank, and you could move on, you can move on Will Smith right now to Taylor May, for example, right? So that's something to quickly go through. Kept Hughes over Munster, that's sad, but yeah, would have kept both. Sell Crichton, no, they've got they've got the Dogs this week, for example. He's averaging 50. I just don't think you need to hold him. He's probably going to peak in price soon, but they also play the round 13, first game of the bye. So that's a very interesting one there. Wanting Murray eventually, that's fair enough. He is playing out of his skin. He's not going to average 75, whatever he's averaging at the moment, something stupid, but obviously we'd like him. Remember, he's going to play Origin and miss a bunch of games over that time as well. How much longer do you keep Mann? Well, you keep Mann until he stops averaging 50. He's been great. Yes, he doesn't play round 13, but he's got the dual position. He can cover a few positions. He's scoring well, playing big minutes, so I wouldn't be thinking about that. Have to keep these two at all costs. Lost a bet. So Jockey Madden, well, pretty good pickup, to be fair, if you had Jockey Madden. Campbell Graham's been doing pretty well also, so is what it is. If you could message us in the group what the bet was, that'd be fun as well. So yeah, that's my general thoughts on that squad, guys. Not really too many. Jockey and Graham would be guys I wouldn't be super keen on. Arrow probably another few weeks, but I'd personally go like Will Smith up to Taylor May if you really wanted him, and the rest of the guys I could hold steady. So that's our first team, guys. Let me know what you'd do. They've used 4 trades so far, ranked 5-2-2-1, so not bad. All right, let's make this a bit bigger. Okay, I can't say this properly, but that's all right. So ranked 2-4-6-6, salary remaining 67, 4 trades used so far. Jump the gun on Cleary, not sure where to go this week. Well, that's all right, you've got Cleary, you don't have to worry about that now. Is Sexton worth persisting with, or can I look to downgrade him to a cheapie and upgrade Arrow Aiken to a gun? I still think Arrow and Aiken are holds. Aiken plays round 13, so I'm tempted to just hold him the whole way through. He's a gun in the centres, and he can cover you in the edge as well. Sexton, I think you're worth persisting with him. You've got Cooler, who's probably going to get a gig now with Turbo out. We'll wait till team list, but the guys on your bench are doing fine. Ilias is probably someone you could even be close to starting this week. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Leo Thompson going forward, but you've got Cleary now. You've got him as captain. You've got Payne in there. I think you're going to have a pretty strong week. Sexton, he won't play that bad again in terms of his fantasy output, so I wouldn't be too stressed with that. And the rest of the guys, pretty safe. So I wouldn't look to downgrade and upgrade. You've got the majority of the cash cows. Maybe it's just upgrading bits and pieces, whether Tuolangi's out for a while, those kind of guys. And if there's any injuries or suspensions, you can pick up some cheaper guys or upgrade elsewhere. So that's that. You got Grant. You got plenty of good things happening. I wouldn't stress too much with this team, mate. Doing well, Toby's troops. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, Jules C. Sitting at 6,506. Use all but 1 trade so far, and has used a couple of trades this week. So we trade Dave Fafita and Tuolangi to May and Grant. I'm not sure whether I should be save a trade, but I think that I need to move both on. Is Grant and May a good choice to bring in? Yeah, they're both going to be great. Like Harry's obviously going to be close to the best hooker in the game by the end of the season, so I think he's definitely a good pickup. Obviously hasn't scored incredibly to start back, but he also has only played 2 games this season. So that's that. May's going to make a fair bit of cash. He's going to be playing that first buy round, so there's lots to think about. You can tell I'm already starting to think about buys in round 5. I'll probably do my buy or my Origin schedule video next week, which I did last year. If you want to have a look at that, you can go back and check it out. Just search it in, it'll pop up, but I'll do another one for this week. So those two trades, yeah, you can trade for Feeder out if you want. He's been annoying. He's still averaging 40 odd and hasn't lost too much money. So if you've made those two trades, then that looks, makes the team look fairly solid, obviously. You got Wishart there in the interchange 4, obviously being used as a loop. Jones, Coates, Ilias, Thompson. Yeah, I wouldn't change too much else. Yeah, the other thing is probably over the next few weeks is just to start slowing down on the trades. Would be my suggestion, because you're going to run out really quickly. We only get 36 in total, so coming into round 5, you still have 21 rounds to go to make trades. So not too many more than one a week from here on, when you're going to wanting to use 3 to 4 in those origin weeks as well. So just be aware of that going forward. Okay, the business. That'd be Brian To'o, I imagine. Is that who you got in your little picture there? Okay, so I've used one trade this week. It hasn't said who yet. Anyway, am I allowed to trade Tedesco, or is he off limits? I think he's off limits personally. He's only, he's almost scoring what he's priced at, so I wouldn't worry about him. He's going to have a game where he gets 100 soon, so just be aware of that. That's the kind of stuff that's going to happen with Teddy, for example. How long should I wait before trading out the King boys, or are they long-term keepers? Probably not keepers, to be honest, but I think they're two guys that you could hold for a good while yet. Max King, the Dogs playing round 13 as well, so that's something to think about. He'll probably sit around the 500, 550k mark, and you can just hold him and use his scores over that period. And there's eventually a chance that he ends up in the starting side if there's an injury or something like that, and could play close to that 45 to 50 minutes that he played on the weekend on a regular basis, and not just be like a one-off, I think. Aiken or Arrow towards Cleary? It's a tough one. Arrow's averaging 50, Aiken's averaging lower 40s, so up to you with that one. They both have that dual position, which is cool in different spots. I think it probably doesn't matter either way. Arrow's going to be in the Origin setup. He doesn't play around 13, so that's probably something that gives Aiken the edge over him. In terms of the rest of the squad, I think we're sitting pretty at the moment. Got a lot of guys making cash, and should be doing pretty well going forward. The nice overall rank of 1102, so just ahead of my team. So well done, business. You got a bit of cash in the bank to move upwards to other players, or use an upgrade downgrade option potentially to get to Cleary or whatever you'd like to do for there. So well done to the business team 5. All right, so we're sitting at 6-5-3-5. Have used one trade this week, only 3 in total so far. So I want to get Cleary, don't know who to downgrade and upgrade for him, possibly thinking downgrade Grant for cash and upgrade a Burton or someone else. So no, I wouldn't be trading 2 keepers out. I feel like that's silly. You can accumulate over a few weeks from some of the mid-ranges that aren't doing too well, or you think that aren't going to be keepers, for example, and you're sitting with 128k now. Over the next few weeks, you can keep downgrading and eventually get up to a Cleary. And when you've got DCE in there, you're obviously sitting pretty there with no pain Haas is the only kind of worry. It was why you're ranked not in the top 1,000 or so. But the rest of the squad, apart from Amone, is looking good. He's probably the one I'd look to potentially move on. If he's on the bench again, he's going to keep losing your cash, and I think you need to move him on. Whether it is a Taylor May, whether it's a Kobe Hetherington, and these kind of guys. If Kobe starts, for example, would be a good idea. But obviously sitting with Curran is nice. Not too much else I do. I wouldn't look to downgrade a Harry Grant at this point. I think he's only just getting started with this season. He's had a bit of a slow start, and plenty of improvement to come. So that's my thoughts, Sangrado Snappers. All right, Renegade Pain in the Hearts. We've spoken about this team a few times now. It's kind of good to see the evolution of some teams, and ranked 2, 3, 5, 5, sitting with only 2 trades made so far. So well done to this fella. 144k in the bank. The questions here is what to do with Angus. I actually had V on him at lockout last week. Jesus, scary. Mid-price edge or Papali'i/Murray. Should I target Paps ASAP? Crichton. So Crichton has to go automatically. Playing off the bench is not good unless he gets named to start. I just think he needs to go. Even with some better minutes this week, I think he needs to be moved on. He's going to play Origin and stuff, so it's not really benefiting you having him in your side right now when you can upgrade to... I'd probably personally go Papali'i, just with someone who's not going to play Origin. I think he's going to be a great player over that period. So if you want to target that now, great. Murray's been incredible as well. So either way, it's going to be a good option. I had them as 1 and 2 last week on my options for must-haves or guys to target if you're going for a keeper in the mids position. But he has that dual position, which is great. Should you target Paps? Having Teddy there, yeah, as I said, I think Teddy can be the one to get 100, for example. So you don't have to target Paps. He's not going to score 100 every week. They don't play the Dogs every week. So he could go back to that 50 mark. But if he continues to absolutely dominate, then you probably look to need to get him in. Like last year, he kind of had that really, really good run, for example. But at this stage, I don't think you need to do that yet. Anyway, you got Crichton there. Sexton, you'd be holding. That's all I do. I just move on Angus. You got the extra cash. You could go up close to the Paps, Papali'i or the Murray there, for example. So that's that. The rest of the guys, not too many to move on. Davey's obviously going to start making some cash, which is good too. All right. This team's ranked 13,024. Used plenty of trades. We'll use 2 this week. So trading in Brown and Man for Sexton and Arrow. Too late on Man. I probably don't even move either of them on. I feel like both of them you're chasing points. Brown's been amazing, but he's not going to score 80 every week. So Sexton and Arrow, I probably wouldn't make those moves, to be fair. Looking to bring an edge in eventually. Any ideas on how I can upgrade that in the future? Well, you have Arrow in there and you're trading him on, so you know what I mean? Like just play Arrow in the edge if you want to do that. Yeah, Brody Jones is still an option, for example. You got Papali'i as a good option in the edge. David Fafita is going to be an option eventually. So yeah, I personally wouldn't be making those trades. Trebojevic looks like he's out for 4 weeks, so I'd move on Tommy first, if possible, and get someone other than. I suppose you can move Hines down. I personally wouldn't get Brown and Man this week for Sexton Arrow. If you can get Man another way, if you can maybe downgrade Trebojevic and to someone potentially down there, and then you got Arthurs to cover, for example, and then you could go up from to someone else, for example, would be fine. Or you go up, trade straight swap with Trebojevic and bring in someone else, another one. I think that's probably a better option than getting in those guys, if that makes sense. Like we're trading out 2 guys that are doing pretty well for guys that you're chasing points a little bit. I wouldn't be potentially doing that. Hi, Jaime. Guys, if you really want to grind my gears, then write JAI. Here in Australia especially, JAI is Jai, so I say Jaime. That's one of my pet peeves. So thank you to RH Bignall for that one. This is my current team. I haven't made any trades yet this week, sitting comfortably around the 1K mark. Well done. Just wondering what to do with Arrow and Tuolangi. I think we wait until team lists. If Tui's named to start, then sweet. If he's not, then you could either hold or trade him. You could go across to Brody Jones if you wanted to. Up to you. Arrow, I think you're fine to stick around. He played a lot of game in the centres on the weekend, so he could go back to a 50 average, and he's already at a 50 average, but continue to hit 50s, and I don't think that's a big worry. Thank you for sticking with DCE. I just don't think it's a point in Cleary, as he only lose value and only score 5 to 10 more points each week. Yeah, well, I wouldn't trade DCE out. It'd be nice to have DCE and Cleary. That'd be great. So that's all. Probably all we need to say on this squad. I think they're looking pretty solidly. I don't see the point in moving on from Arrow or Tui. I have both of them, and I'm probably looking to hold unless we hear anything long term out of Tui. All right, Dusty Buds sitting at 1479. Only used 4 trades so far, looking good. Hoping to bring in Cam Murray this week. Thoughts on how I can make that happen? Arrow, Aiken, Burton, Coates, hold or sell. I think they're all holds, man. All of them. If Ezra Mann's listed on the bench for Broncos, is he worth? No, not on the bench. Same as Kula, he was a bad option on the bench, not getting many minutes. So I'd wait until Ezra gets a start. But it looks like Walters is probably going to get it. There's some footage of him training at 6 this week, which he should be. He's been playing well every time he gets on the park. So I think there's he deserves that chance. Albert Kelly got the opportunity this season because he was there last year. So that's the reason why Walters hasn't got it. And he'll come out and play that role. I think all the rest of the guys are holds, man. I think your team's looking solid. There's no point trading every week. Whether it's just one if you want to or something like that. If there's an underperforming guy, then you can. But other than that, no need to trade just for the sake of it. All right. Ranked 102. Here we go. Denty. Traded Arrow and Aitken to get Murray. Seemed to have paid off. Okay, well done. Last week. Wouldn't have suggested it, but it's obviously worked out. Really well with the 73 last week. Any trades worth for round 5? How many trades have you made so far? I think you've changed Schneider and King when they stopped growing in cash for DCE. Have plans for Cleary later. Yeah, of course, man. But I wouldn't touch those guys for a little while for sure. Should not have Captain Hines. Yeah, that would have helped. If you captain Murray after bringing him in, come on, mate. You've done really well. Yeah, and you got Payne Haas as well. Silly. Come on. Anywho, Hetherington's going to be a really cool one this upcoming. Not playing King as well. And Penasini, yeah, it's tough times. You could have had a really, really good. I think Denti was like in the top 20 last week, so yeah, a little bit of a fall from grace with while still scoring really well. So yeah, I wouldn't touch too much of this team. Looking good. Papali'i's a nice one to have, that's for sure. All right, team number 11. So we're almost halfway. 1,856 overall rank, 3 trades used. I'm planning to get Cleary soon when he gets cheaper. Who should I look to trade out when I can get Cleary? All right, so yeah, that's the other question. The other thing to think about is a lot of these players in the mid-range are going to eventually get to a point where you can, they've peaked and you can trade them out. Think of Jeremiah Nanai, Joshy King, those type of players. When Joshy gets 50 minutes, he's only going to score that mid-30s kind of thing. So, with the odd try in there and stuff. But those type of guys I look to eventually move on, and that could be an easy way to get to Cleary. If I trade out Clark for May, I'll be left with 129k in the bank. Is it too late to get May? I think it's too late. As I said, he's going to get his dual position. Yes, he might miss a few games over like round 8, 9, 10, somewhere there, unless there's injuries, right? Or he takes over a Staines, for example, when To'o comes back. But over the Origin period, he'll play as well. So, there's some good reason to get him. He'll probably end up sitting in the 500 somewhere. So another 100 or so thousand to make and some decent scores in there, I think would be fine. So is Tuolangi injured? Yeah, we don't know too much at this point. It's a bit of an unknown. Playing to trade out Clark to May, that's fine. Going to hold Russell and use him for looping. That's fine as well. He's too cheap to even bother trading to someone else. So yeah, it's sitting well in this team. Good stuff for you. Raiders 1, 1,519, 1,519 for overall rank. Plenty of trades used 2 this week. How should I organise my bench with these guys having potential to do well? Okay, starting side looks like that. That's sweet. How do you structure it? Well, you just decide who you think is going to be best. If it looks like Randall, Starling, King are going to be locked in there. I think Brodie Jones has a bigger potential to score well this week. Frizzell's probably out this week as well, so Jones should play bigger minutes. I'd pop him in the number 4. We seen what happened with Leo last week. So Jones didn't play anything special and still got 30. So he'll be a 35 to 45 kind of player this week. I think you plug him in. Other than that, you're sweet. I've traded in Murray and TPJ for Arrow and Clune. Yeah, okay. Arrow and Clune both making a bit of money. Whatever, up to you. Do I still get this seeing how I only have 25 trades left? Yeah, you're pumping the trades a little bit, but I personally would... Clune's doing okay. Like, you even play him most weeks and he's getting 35 to 40. Like, he's a bit more consistent than a lot of players. So up to you if you want to do that. Hetherington, the starting team, looks pretty good. Other than that, hold steady with the squad. All right, here we go. Overall rank, 25,857. Used 3 trades so far. Got plenty of cash in the bank. Use it. Do I go for Cleary? Yes, do it. What are you waiting for? That's a lot of money in the bank for the bat fasted. There you go. DeBellin needs to go. Trade him out. Get Cleary in. You got Nanai. You don't have any mids, do you? Okay. We need a mid. Joshy Curran could come in. That could be a good one. Isaiah Papali'i, I think would be a good one. Who else could you get in? Well, you could go Isaiah Papali'i for DeBellin. How could you get up to Cleary? You could go Sexton to Cleary straight up. That would be cool. You could go for Feeder to Cleary if you weren't sure. So either way, I think is fine. If you really want to Cleary, I just think you need to use that salary cap. Whether it's upgrading one of these cheaper guys to a gun as well would also be a good idea. I just feel like that half position at the moment is pretty weak. Fair bit of cash in the edge, which is fine. But that's probably the way I'd go. Is Aiken to May worth it? No, don't do that. I don't think. You need to get some guns in. You got too many cheapies at the moment. Do emphasis with Sexton. Up to you whether you go him to Cleary or not. Any mid-range worth going for. Yeah, just go for the guys I mentioned there. Whether you want to trade for Feeder, you want to trade to Sexton up. I think DeBellin needs to go. That's the way. That's all. Good luck. All right. Hines train. Have gone Reed and Teddy to Cleary and May, dropping Hines back. No, don't get rid of Teddy. Reed, I think, is a trade. That's fine. Teddy, just to get Cleary, hey? And not even going to captain him. Cleary has to be captain this week if he's in your squad. Come on. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. All right. Yeah, just be aware, just Teddy could get 100 this week. Just putting it out there. Every chance. Anywho, next, 1,862 for Feltier Haas. Beautiful. Do I make any trades this week? I've used 4 so far. Not bad. What should I do with Arrow? A lot of Arrow chat this week. Interesting. Lockie Ilias as the skipper. Why is he not on your starting team as skipper if you got him in your profile picture? Come on, mate. Sort it out. Burton's not a sell. Who would I play on my bench? I really think Ilias is super close to being a starter, like getting him in your 17. Like, putting it out there. Let me know what your thoughts are. But I think Ilias is very close to getting that opportunity. He would have scored over 50 last week against a really, really good team. Close to the best team in the comp. Probably the best team in the comp. So I think that he's really close. He's improving. He will make some money. That's what I'm sure of. He's starting to make a little bit. I think he's going to be sweet. So, almost Ilias over Tuolangi. Tui might be out, and then you could have the Walters as an option as well. But, Jesus, getting close, that's for sure. Good work for having Dilly Brown in there. Dilly Bags. Woohoo. All right, Rico Livingston. We're sitting at 2751, 106k in the bank, 28 trades remaining. Not sure what I should do with trades. We're thinking maybe Burton to Brown. Just don't chase with Brownie. You got Fermor to come back in. Burton's been fine with that being spectacular. You know, a lot of people are going to want to get him in like round 8 anyway when his draw softens up a bit. So I think if you got him now, you just hold steady. He's still, he hasn't lost any money for you. He's pretty much scoring what he's priced at. So it's the same with Aiken. Arrow's gone up a little bit, but they're all scoring pretty well for how they're priced. Remember the price changes this year? So obviously guys like Bo have done really well and made 100k, but other guys like that, I think it's just worth holding for sure, man. Like Teddy as well. I'm glad you haven't asked about him, but having only used the 4 trades, I'd probably just upgrade around the fringes at the moment, and then potentially you give these guys a few more weeks, and then maybe you trade an Arrow or something like that, and you can try and get yourself up to Cleary or something like that over the next few. You've got Taylor May, you got Tungo doing well, so the centers are fine. Halves, I don't think you need to do too much. The team's looking solid, man. Like, once you get Fermor back playing, you add him into that mix. You got a good bench. Tui comes down for Bowie, for example. You have Penasini if you want to play him. There's a lot going well in this team. I just don't stress too much about chasing last week's points. He's had 280 pluses in a row. He's not going to do it again. If he does, I'll be cheering, but I don't think he will. All right, team 17. So we have a nice round 5 rank and an overall rank of 1255 here. 4 trades used. Plenty of chat in here, brain dead. Hold off on Cleary. Up to you. Let's have a little look. Moses is going to have a bunch of good games, you'd imagine. King's doing well. There's not too much to trade, guys. Like, Coates here is a hold. Murray / Dylan Brown. Again, you're chasing points, man. Murray's at 75, a bunch of 80, an 80 or 75. Dylan Brown to 80 plus. It's not going to average that over the season. So, you see Moses is going to be up and down as well. It's like, you get, Moses gets 82 and you just chase him. Like, it's silly. Don't do it. Especially if you're trading out guys that are doing a job, being really serviceable in your team. There's no real point there. Could trade Josh King into a lane for Murray and Cheapy, but that leaves very little cash. And Josh King's making bulk cash, man. I'm so jealous that I don't have Josh King. He might be a trade in 2 weeks, but right now, no way. Tui, what's the point? Like, Tui's only 338, so you're dropping him down to a 220 guy. Like, you make 100k, and Tui has a bit more cash to make because he's actually really, really good. Obviously, we'll wait till team list, but he's been great. Can straight up trade J King for Dill Brown. Again, just chasing points. Just relax, guys. Moses and Brown playing the same team. Need to get Cleary at some point anyway. Any other ideas? I think you got to give it a week or two, man. Team's looking good. Like I said, just trade around the edges. If you're not happy, if Tui's out for a while, then you could trade somewhere there. You have 334k in the bank. You could upgrade one of your mid-rangers to a gun if you wanted to. I understand that, but I wouldn't be going J King when you've got plenty of cash to make at this point. You could go to a Lungy up to a 670k guy if you wanted to. Like, that's definitely an option. Other than that, give it another few weeks on the 9, and you could look to trade him, for example. But right now, you can almost just hold, and you can really trade heavy in the middle rounds when you need when you need a good trying to make a good side. I don't know what to do with my forwards. Maybe trade at a later date. I suppose you've got those 2 mid-range guys, Finucane and Tarpany, who are not keepers. So they're guys that you could eventually work to trade up and downgrade one. Looking to get rid of Fafita, Bird, and Walker, but I don't know who I should bring in. Well, just we've obviously spoken a lot about the potential guys that you could trade in. We have Taylor May, who's definitely a decent option. I think Kobe Hetherington, if he gets a starting 13 role, could be a good option as well for guys like Walker. Might bring in Cleary or Dylan Brown if I have the money. Again, Dylan Brown, you're chasing a little bit. With him, you've also got to fix up the emergencies here, right? So I think you could potentially downgrade a Walker. You get that 70k and upgrade a a Schiller or a Baker to some of those cheaper guys. If Cooler gets 4 weeks, for example, he could be one that you downgrade Fletcher Baker for, bank a little bit of that cash and use it elsewhere over the next few weeks, and you can potentially upgrade a Finucane or a Tarpany. For feeder, I think at this point you just hold Jackie Bird, on the chopping block as well. So just wait for, if I speak about any good cash cows in these next few videos, guys, for this squad here, you can potentially make some moves there. I think would be a good idea. But other than that, just don't be moving any of the keepers on. I think the mid-range is where you need to work on at the moment and remove a few of those guys over the next few weeks and get some money-making potential, because these 4 on the bench aren't doing it for us at the moment, unfortunately. Okay, so we got an interesting one here. Ranked 1773. 5 trades used. I don't lose. Okay. Hold arrow or trade to Hetherington Cotter. I think hold arrow. You can get one of those guys another way. How and when do I get Cleary? Again, just wait until Nanai peaks in price. You could use him, for example, which maybe over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Whether you then use a Tui, then you could use an arrow maybe in a couple of weeks if you get a couple of decent scores out of him. And Nanai, you can upgrade one, downgrade the other. Could be a decent option. See what happens with Penasini, Aitken, these types of guys. But the rest of the team here is a hold. I don't think you got Cooler, who's going to start to score pretty well also. That's probably where I'd be thinking. What I do with Tuolangi and Thompson. Leo, you hold. He's still got money to make. Tui, we're not sure, so just wait off on him. But I think he's still got money to make as well. Is Crichton an issue now that Cleary is back? No. Well, he scored 51. They're going to score tries, man. So centers and wingers for the Penrith Panthers are going to keep scoring well. How and do I get May? How do you get May? That's the question. You might have to leave him. You've already made 5 trades, so it could be, you've got most of the cash cows already. All these guys that are on your bench are going to make some cash, so it's not like you're sitting with cheapies there that aren't doing anything, that aren't playing, for example. So I think there's not much you can do. And I think you hold Penasini, he got 56, and he finally got some ball. So, he's just literally just started making cash and made like 27k or something on the weekend. So hold on to him. That would be silly to move him on. All right, 5 teams to go. This one's ranked 480, Andrew Longjohns. All right, 3 trades used, 41k in the bank. Is Arrow a sell? And if so, who's the best option to replace him? I don't think so at this point. Is they can hold, yes. Just, these guys are all holding their price, so scoring accordingly. Unless you got 6 guys in your emergencies that are absolutely killing it, like emergency and interchange, then you can upgrade, downgrade. You can go to a cheap guy that might make a bit of cash, but you don't want to put him in your starting side and upgrade to a gun. Like that'd be when you do that. But at the moment, you have Walters, Leo Thompson, Penasini, Ilias, King, Brodie Jones, all guys that aren't absolute superstars that you'll have to play them all the time. Until that comes along, then you can upgrade, downgrade, but not at the moment. I don't think. Best trade-ins this week for this team and how it's looking overall and shaping for the future. There's not really anyone in this team you look to move on. The Arrows, the Nanais, the Aitkins, all guys you can think of trading eventually. Max King eventually, Penasini eventually, Walters eventually. But maybe it's in 2 to 3 weeks. There's also going to be suspensions, injuries. I just wait till that to really go heavy on trades this week. Teddy still a keeper, yes. What players should be playing every week out of this bench? I think you're pretty well set, man. That 4's going to look good. Jones should do pretty well this week. Penasini's going to have the up and down game. So that'll be all with this squad. All right, it's going to be hard to read, but ranked 1303. I'm trying to compete overall and needing some advice now I can move up in the ranks. Keen has to bring in May, but not sure who to trade out. Also wondering whether it's worth trading out Arrow, Aitken or Burton to get another forward half gun. I hope you guys are learning from my last few weeks is that these mid-range guys that are still scoring pretty well, making a bit of cash. Apart from Bird, I did trade him, but I think he's the least out of these 4, like whether it's Arrow, Aitken, Bird and Burton. I think he's the least best player out of them. So that's why I would. I know the latter 2 are centre keeper territory, but I'm worried to have too much money spent on centres. Okay, let's have a look at the centres then. Burton, Tungo, Aitken. That's all. Crichton. Yeah, man, you got cover, and that's all you need, really. You got centre as well. I suppose Penasini. So, maybe like a Penasini could be a trade. You're not sitting there with Bird as well. So maybe Penasini's eventually the trade out after a little bit. That's what I'd say on that. This is exactly how my team was organised for round 4. Used Schiller into 4 and gambled on Thompson's score because I thought he would do well being a starter this week. Exactly right. By the way, 2 tries I used previously were Utto to Starling and Bully to Jones. Yeah, cool. Both solid trades. So in terms of the rest of the squad, you're looking at eventually Arrow moving on, potentially Tui. Obviously Schiller's in there, not making you too much cash. There's not really much else I do. You just want obviously some better scores out of Burton, Aiken, Arrow, Ben Hunt from what he did last week, Grant as well. So you got a bunch of guys that, Starling as well, a bunch of guys that haven't done super well. Who you play on that fourth interchange is going to be the question this week, whether it's Penasini, Thompson, Tuolangi if he's starting, Ilias potentially. So it's going to be a bit of a guess and just loop one of them and see what happens with that one. Other than that, the team's looking solid for where you're ranked as well. All right, for you to go, we got this team here, the Brady K, ranked 2559. 4 trades used. Okay, plenty happening here. Don't play Captain Roulette. Yes, good question. Don't do it. Obviously, tried to do it with someone last week. All hail the king. Yeah. Past the Cleary, we have Lolo and Sexton. I think that's pretty fair. Hopefully, Jace gets a bunch of good scores for you. That would be cool. Smith, we could loop. Kelly's replacement. Yeah, would be cool. I'll make love to you, Crichton and Tungo and May. Love that. Tui, some luck, please. Yeah, some luck would be great. Thompson, I'm on air with Thompson played over Crichton. That's tough. That is tough. All right, and we love Pappy. Of course, we love Pappy. Jonesy, gradual minute increase. Yes, to him. Who would you trade? No one, really. Especially after what Lolo did. I wouldn't be touching him. Sexton's, obviously on the radar. But otherwise, team's solid, man. There's some cash generation in there. That you got the guns and the wing fullback. I think Teddy's due for a big one soon. So, yeah, definitely plenty of good things to look forward to. Smith's too cheap to even worry about. Jones will improve. Grant will improve. There's plenty going on right here. Well done. All right, 2 teams to go. Love the writing in this one. This is what mine would look like on the on the computer, little mouse thing or whatever it be. Just doing it with your mouse. Yeah. Broncos for grand final. Kempy said the ambush has been postponed. So sorry. I'm so sorry. What have we got here? So ranked well at least. Ranked much better than the Broncos. 2, 3, 4, 9. 4 trades down, 337 in the bank. Cleary, Bird a go. Is he ready to go? Potentially. I think Bird you could try and trade up to. Who can we downgrade and get you Cleary this week? That would be fun. That would be really fun. What else we got? Tui down, gives you 100k. Bird up, 400. Ooh, that'd be close. If you could go Tui to Cooler this week, what does that give you? 118. That gives you 455 plus Bird. What is Cleary? Oh, you're going to be so close to Cleary. That, something to look forward to. My quick maths was okay. But anyway, Birdie's out. You got Taylor May already. Jones already. Yeah, I wouldn't change too much here, man. That's probably the way to go. Is to eventually use that cash to go Bird up to a Cleary, or you can go Bird to a Papali'i right now if you wanted to do that. I think, yep, you can go Papali'i, you can go Cam Murray, DCE. You can see all those guys on the right there. And then Tohu Harris will be a really cool one to go to. Other than that, I think the team's looking good. Awesome work, mate. Oops. Oh, yeah. Last one. All right. This person asked me last week to get on there. Didn't put any notes on there. He just said that he was thinking about holding trades this week, but is there anything that we'd do in this side with 322k in the bank? And a good in the team name too. I have Gagai's having Sextons. Nice. As I said, Arrow we've spoken about. Burton I think's to hold. Tui, Josh King, yeah, I agree. It's a hold this week, and just hope that some of your players score better than they did. Penasini in there. Hopefully he goes well again for you. Other than that, that's all the teams, guys. Let me know what your thoughts on that type of video was, if that helped you guys out. Obviously, there's going to be certain themes each week, which will become prevalent. And I think these videos are going to get even better as we get closer to the Origin period as well, when teams are starting to make some, have some thoughts. And if you could write that on the page, like your thoughts around Origin and why you're looking to trade this, or maybe your path that you're thinking over the next 3 to 5 weeks, that would be all really cool ways to improve these videos and help you guys with your knowledge, I think, definitely. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that and got a lot out of it. And if you are new to here, please subscribe. Please hit the like. That really helps me out. I appreciate all your guys' support so far, and we'll keep it going into round 5. Have a good week, guys, and good luck with Team List tonight. Bye-bye.